So if you go outside and grab some soil, you'll likely find a bunch of tiny worms. Now, many of these worms are beneficial for our agriculture. However, many others are detrimental. In fact, we lose an estimated $35 billion every year due to these worms in the US alone. So we need better ways to control these worms. In the past, we've used pesticides to kill these worms. However, these have downstream effects on agriculture and human health. So perhaps we can find other methods to control them. Perhaps we can simply ward off these worms, make them afraid from our agriculture. So what are these worms afraid of? Well, predators. So we looked at a particular predator-prey interaction between two worms. And when this one prey worm wiggles around and encounters a predator, it will wiggle the opposite way. If you take the excrement, the poop, of the predator, and you put it on a plate, and you allow the prey to wiggle towards it, it will also wiggle the opposite way. Similar to how mice are deathly afraid of cat urine. So something is in this predator excrement that this prey is deathly afraid of. So what is in this excrement? Well, there are thousands of chemicals, some of which these prey worms are afraid of. So how can we actually figure out which ones it's afraid of? Well, in order to do that, we need to separate out the chemicals. Now, how can we do that? You can think of each chemical as a tiny magnet, each with its own unique magnetic strength. And if you pass it over a larger magnet, the stronger magnets will bind more tightly to the larger magnet, whereas the weaker magnets will pass through. This way we can separate out the chemicals. So once we have separated out the chemicals, we tested them individually for fear in these prey worms, and found that the chemicals that were inducing this fear were actually very similar to chemicals found in generic soap that we use every day. And in fact, those same chemicals that are in generic soap also cause fear in the prey worms, which begs the question, what are these soaps that we use every day doing to us? Finally, we tested these chemicals against worms that plague our agriculture. However, unfortunately, we didn't find a very strong effect, but we can use the same methodology to find potential treatments. Thank you.